Hi everyone, this is Kasha. I'm feeling artsy, and today we're going to draw plaid. We're going to draw two plaid skirts, one with ruffles and one with pleats. If you enjoy drawing with me, make sure you subscribe down below. To complete this project, you will need a piece of paper. I'm using a sketchbook, a pencil, and I'm coloring with markers, but you can use other things, crayons, color pencils. Before we jump into our skirts, I want to talk to you about different kinds of plaid. There's like a gazillion of different kinds of plaid, but let's just cover the three basic ones. The first one is going to be Gingham, and that's the kind that is on Dorothy's skirt. To draw this, you would draw a straight line and then a second line in a distance of the width of this. So the white is the same width as the collar. So I'm doing this in pink, and it's like a popular plaid for baby stuff. And then you're gonna draw also horizontal lines going across. And to make it even more like the one on actual fabric, you want to come back in and draw in these squares. So because I'm using alcohol markers, alcohol-based markers, this color comes out a little bit darker. However, if you are using something like color pencils, you just need to come in with the color that's one shade darker. So here's your gingham. Now the second very popular kind is buffalo plaid, or some people call it lumberjack. Now you see a lot of it during Christmas time in greens and reds. I'm going to do mine in yellow, and the first thing that I'm going to do is draw a yellow rectangle to get the background. Now on top of my background, I'm going to do the same thing like I did with the gingham. So stripes, and I'm doing them in gray. Now I'm going to come back and make my squares a little darker, the ones where they cross. And now you could leave it at this, or you can go a step further and add diagonal lines on the pieces that are the lighter ones. And finally, the third kind that I want to show you how to do is going to be a little more complicated plaid. I'm going to do it in light purple. So again, I'm doing a rectangle for the background. I'm going with skinny stripe, then a wider stripe, then a skinny stripe again, then my gap will be a little bit wider. Wide, skinny, skinny, wide, skinny, and the same thing going the other way. And I'm going to also add some white stripes on top of it. And there you have it, here's plaid. So we covered the three basic kinds. There's a gazillion of different ones. You can look them up online and try to draw them. Now how are we going to apply this to clothing? Because once you have clothes on, these patterns will fold. Okay, so I had really quickly drew two skirts over here. One has ruffles, one has pleats. Both have just tops that are kind of tight. And I'm going to apply this type of plaid to both of them. So let's do the ruffle ones first. I'm going to put pink all over it for the background color, and then we're going to do the plaid. Now, if you have questions, how did you draw the skirts, how did you draw the ruffles, how did you draw the pleats, I have separate videos on that, so you can go back and watch them. Okay, so now gray for the plaid. So we're gonna do the same thing we did over there, but now we're gonna follow the curves of the body. So here I'm just gonna do the skinny stripe, and then I have to go and do the skinny and the wides. And this one's really straightforward because there's no folds. Okay, now the rest of the skirt. I'm just going to follow the body. So I'll start about here, and here's the skinny stripe, and then I'm gonna have to do the white one. And on this tight part, there's not very much happening because there's no folds. Now over here we're coming up on a fold, and that's going to make my line go a little bit off. So now I'm going to do the same thing going the other way. And now the ruffles. So the ruffles are a little bit harder. Let's draw a skinny line, then the fat one. And now here we start seeing a piece of the skinny one, but then it's underneath the fold, and we'll see it again here. Then there's a gap, the skinny line, thick line, and we start seeing it here coming out a little bit, and then the skinny line, then the skinny line, and the thick one is here, and it disappears underneath. Now a piece of a skinny one, gap, skinny, and fat that disappears in the fold, and skinny, gap, skinny, and the fat one is underneath the fold again. And then the other way, so you will follow this, and then goes up and down, following the fold, the ruffles. And then we want to add our white lines. Okay, so that's the ruffled one. Now let's do the plaid one. So again, I'm going to fill it in with one color first. Now I'm going to add some shading here for the pleats. And now let's do our plaid. So on this top part, I'm going to do it different now. I'm going to make it go at the diagonal, but I'm going to follow the same exact rules I did when I originally drew it. Okay, so that's the top part. The top part's kind of easy. Now let's do the pleats. So you would do like same thing, skinny, then go for the wide, wherever it may fall. And then you have a skinny, but you don't see it. And then you have the white yellow that you don't see because it's falling behind. So here's your next skinny one, and your next white one. And that's folded down there, so again we don't see it, but we'll see the next one come out here. Now it looks like they cut this fabric crooked a little bit, but I'm just gonna roll with it. And then when they fold the other way, let's say the skinny one is the first one. And then the white one. You have to kind of offset them. Okay, there you have it. Plaid ruffled skirt and plaid pleated skirt. I hope you enjoyed my video. Make sure you give me thumbs up and come back to see me soon.